Here we're going to look at managing nutrients for tomatoes and how to spot particular deficiencies. So starting with calcium, what to look for: a calcium deficiency, a rot spot that starts at the blossom end of the tomato. This is more common in longer tomatoes simply because the calcium has longer to travel, typically runs out before it gets to the very end. How to prevent this? Well, soil testing to know if you're naturally low in calcium, and also make applications just before fruit set of a calcium product if there's known to be an issue. If a paste tomato shows this blossom end rot that you're seeing here and here, it might be advantageous to start a calcium regimen for your other varieties. Because they're the longer tomatoes, they typically will show it first, and it can be a sign that your others may be getting exposed to this. So treat as soon as you see it's starting to develop, to prevent it from getting on to the other crops there. How to control? Well, CalMag Plus from Botanicare, or Biomin Calcium if you're under organic restrictions. Magnesium deficiency. Well, the lower leaves will start to develop a mottled look to them and progress to brown lesions. So this is kind of how they look. I can see the brown lesions starting to develop here. Monitor plants and make applications if problems are noticed before fruit set. Typically the application would be adding Epsom salts, starting about a rate of about 1 tablespoon per gallon. This is in part why CalMag is advised, because you get both calcium and magnesium. So you're not getting blossom end rot and hopefully not getting too much of this lower leaf yellowing. There's also potassium. This is browning of the leaf margins, which is the edges of the leaves here. Yellow shoulders can be another indication, but so can sun scald, so be careful on your sun scald areas. How to prevent: you want to add a potassium product with your irrigation water, especially if you have irrigated heavily during the plant growth phase of development. As a result, you may have pushed out or flushed out some of that natural potassium that was in your soil. Sulfate of potassium applications are recommended. Kelp can also add potassium, but it's often not in quantities needed, especially during a heavy fruit set of a plant. Nitrogen, what to look for on our nitrogen deficient, which is not always the case, maybe early in the season, will be yellowing branches, and typically the lower branches. When to feed nitrogen fertilizer, especially early when the soil is on the cool side, because it may not be greatly plant available. All the nutrients in this is the easiest one to fix. So of all the things to be low in, choose to be low in nitrogen because it's a quick and easy fix. If you apply nitrogen fertilizer to a plant that you suspect is low in nitrogen, wait about 3 days or so if you water it in immediately, and if it doesn't change in 3 to 4 days, it's not nitrogen that's the problem, it's something else. Lastly, we talked about deficiencies. We want to talk about excessive nutrients. So overfeeding of one nutrient can block other nutrients. This is most common with nitrogen. It doesn't benefit the plant. It can cause a reduction in yield. It creates these very healthy, put in quotes, looking plants that look just huge, but they don't really produce much in the way of fruit. You're shifting that plant to grow more leaves than actually set fruit. It could also, when you over-fertilize, potentially contaminate groundwater, and you're also wasting time and money. So apply fertilizers at recommended rates and with a soil test to know if you should be adding that nutrient in the first place.